Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Link and Learn. In today's class, we are actually going to learn about the conditional statements in Java program. So, before we start anything, first of all, we need to understand what is a conditional statement. In real life, whenever you do certain things, you might have to check certain conditions and work only if that particular condition is satisfied. So, in that case, you might have to check whether the condition is satisfied or not, right? So, in Java program also, you have different ways of checking a condition. I would like to give you a real life scenario. For example, uh, for driving, in order for a person to start driving a vehicle, he or she might have to get a license, right? And the criteria or the condition for getting a license is the basic thing minimum eligibility. The age should be greater than 18, right? 18 or above. So in this case, the age has to be clearly identified, right? And the person whose age will be cross-checked by the authorities, and then only that person will be allowed for the driving test. So just like that, in Java program also, we might have to check a particular condition and do certain things or give certain commands that is to be executed only if that particular condition is satisfied. And we have different set of conditional statements, and the first and basic one is the if statement. So the I will just show you how the if statement works. For example, let's say you want to check whether age age is greater than or equal to 18 or not. So usually the program logic work like this. Age will be passed on to the condition, and here we will check whether age is greater than or equal to 18. If it is true, if it is true, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 will be executed. I'm just giving you an example, okay? And if this condition is false, if this condition is false, I will be exiting my program. So this is how a condition work in normal case, right? So this can be represented in Java program using uh, the if statement. But the difference is we will be checking only the condition and telling the Java program what to do if a condition is satisfied. We won't be specifying what to do if it is not satisfied. Okay, this section we won't be considering in the simple if statement. You will specify a condition if age greater than or equal to 18, then execute statement 1 and statement 2. Statement 1 and statement 2 can be any Java programming statement which will be executed if the given condition is satisfied. So in if condition, you will be checking a given condition or a given expression. If that condition is satisfied, you will be executing a set of instruction. It can be only one instruction or it can be more than one instruction. It depends on the programmer's logic or depending on the uh, um depending on the activity or the instruction that is to be executed by the programmer. Okay, so this is how the simple if statement work. So we will be considering a condition and what to do if the condition is true. So this is the simple if statement which focus only on the condition true part. Let's say you want to define a condition and you want to tell the Java program what to do if the condition is true and what to do if the condition is false. In the simple if statement, we will be specifying only the things to the Java program to execute only if the given condition is true. We are not bothered about what happens if the condition is false. But if you want to properly manage an if condition, let's say you want to tell the Java program what to do if the condition is true and what to do if the condition is false. In that case, you can use something called as if else condition. That means you have age greater than or equal to 18. So you will be checking a condition. If the condition is true, you will be executing S1, S2. So if the given condition in the if statement is satisfied, you will be executing S1 statement and S2 statement. But if by any chance if this condition is not satisfied, you will not go into the if block. Instead, you will go to the else block and you will execute whatever statement that is written in the else block. So in the first case, in the simple if statement, you will be checking a condition and you will be executing set of statement only if the given condition is true. You are not worried about what to do when the condition is false. This is simple if statement. But in the if else statement, you are properly defining what to do if a given condition is true. So if the given condition is true, it will be executing S1 and S2. And if the given condition is false, if the given age is let's say 12 and this condition will be false, right? So if the condition is false, it will go to the else part and it will display or execute S3 and S4. So this is how it works in if else condition. And assume that you have more than one condition to check. Let's say if mark less than 40, if mark less than 40, just print failed. If this condition, you have multiple statements just like grade. So if the mark is less than 40, if the mark is less than 40, then the student is failed. And if the mark is somewhere between 41 and 50, let's say the grade is C. Okay, so and 51 to 60, you have C plus. 61 to 70, you have B plus. 71 to 80, you have B plus. 81 to 90, you have A. 91 to 100, you have A plus. So this is, I'm just giving an example. So this is a grading pattern given by someone. Just assume that this is a grading pattern given by someone. So we might have to check more than one condition in order to print a proper grade for the students, right? So you have more than one condition to check in this case, and you might have to check each and every condition if a particular condition is not satisfied. Okay, so we will start from the beginning. If the mark is if mark is greater than 91 and if the mark is less than or equal to 100. Okay, writing a simple statement, okay, just to show you how this thing works. If the mark is greater than 90, greater than or equal to 91, and mark less than or equal to 100, then print A plus. Okay, and if that condition is not satisfied, let's say if the student got 65, if the student acquired 65, in the initial case, the condition is not satisfied. You have to check another condition whether the mark lies under 81 or 90. So, in order to add the second condition, you need to use the ELSEIF statement. ELSEIF mark greater than or equal to 81 and mark less than or equal to 90, then print A. ELSEIF mark greater than or equal to 71 and mark less than or equal to 80, print B plus. So like that you will go on writing the conditions, and then at the end, if none of the condition is satisfied, else at the end you will specify the else block, and in the else block you will print fail. So after writing the else if first statement will be written in the if condition, and second condition will be written in the else if block. Third one will be written in another else if block. Fourth condition will be written in another else if block. Fifth one in another else if block. Sixth one in another else if block. And finally, if none of the condition is not satisfied, that means the mark will be less than or equal to 40, right? So if the mark is less than or equal to 40, our condition is, or our result will be fail, right? So in order to display or in order to handle the fail condition, after checking all the different grade condition, you will put an else block where you print the result which is failed. So else if block is very simple, representing the whole thing in a pictorial form. You have the condition 1, and if it is true, you will execute statement 1 or statement 2, etc. If the condition is false, it will go to the second condition, condition 2, and if it is true, it will execute statement 3, statement 4, etc. And if that condition is also false, it will go to the condition 3, and if it is true, it will print S5 and S6, and like that it will go on until condition N. If that condition N is true, it will print statement N plus 1. And if none of the condition is satisfied, it will go to the else block and print and it will print the default value. If none of the condition is not satisfied, it will print the default value. So this is how it is supposed to work. So let's see how this works in a real Java program. So we have a Java program, and I'm using the simplest program in order to show how this conditional statements work in Java program. You have a simple print statement, and I'm trying to print the statement which is hello world. If you run the program, you will be able to If you run the program, you'll be able to see the result hello world. So what will happen if we write the whole thing in a conditional statement? So first we will use the simple if statement, and the syntax is very simple. You write the if keyword, and within the brackets you write the condition, and then you specify the block. Whatever statement written within the opening and closing brace will be executed if the condition is satisfied. So I am going to take this print statement inside this if condition, and I am going to specify a simple condition. Let's say 2 greater than 3. Logically, the program, the condition, the given condition is actually false, right? 2 is not greater than 3. So if you run the program, you can see that you are not getting any output. And the reason is the control will go to the if condition and it will check whether the condition is true or false. In this case, the given condition is false, and since it is false, it will not go inside the if condition and it will come out. Okay. So if I change the condition to 4 greater than 3, if I change the condition to 4 greater than 3, if I change the condition to 4 greater than 3 and execute this program, now the program control will go to the if condition and check whether the given condition is true or false. 4 greater than 3 is actually, the condition is true. Since the condition is true, it will go inside the if block and print the message hello world. Moving on to the next one, the if else block. So in the simplest statement, you are just checking a condition and you will be executing a set of statement if that condition is satisfied. Moving on to the if else statement, you will be specifying what to do if a condition is true and what to do if the condition is not satisfied. So the syntax is very similar. You write the if block first. After you write the if block, then you type the else block. Else is the keyword, and below the else you will be specifying the opening and close braces. So in the else block, I am going to give another message. Link and learn. Okay. So the idea of this program, if the given condition is satisfied, it will go to the if block and it will print the hello world message. If the condition is not satisfied, it should go to the else block and print the word or the statement link and learn. We will execute this program. So in the given program, the condition is 4 greater than 3. The condition is true. So it will print the hello world. Since the condition is true, the program will not go to the else block. And if you change the condition, let's say 1 greater than 3, in this case, the condition is false. And since the condition is false, it will not go into the if condition. It will go to the else block instead. And it will print the link and learn message. If you run the program, you will get the result link and learn. So you can write, if you want to check multiple condition, you will have to use the if ELSEIF ladder. For example, I'm going to write the if else block. In this block, you need the if block and else block, and in between you will be having the else if block. And in the else if block, you will be specifying the second condition. Else if is also similar to the if block, but you will add the keyword else along with if. So The next condition that I am going to give is 3 is equal to 3, and I am going to add a new statement. Hello. So how how this will work? Let's see. If you run the program, you will get the output as hello. And the reason is the program control will first go to the if block and it will check whether the condition is true or false. 1 greater than 3, which is false, so it will not go into the if block. So it will go the control will go to the else if block. 3 is equal to 3. So you are comparing 3 with 3 and checking whether both the values are equal. So in this case, the condition is satisfied, and since the condition is true, you will be printing the statement hello. So using this particular else if block or if else if else block, you can define more than one conditions. And let's say you have one more condition, else if 4 less than or equal to 5, and I am going to add one more statement. By. So here, if you look carefully, you can see that there are two conditions which is true. This one 3 double equal to 3 and 4 less than or equal to 5. We have multiple condition which is actually true. But when we run the program, you will get the message as hello. And the reason is in if block or if else block, if a particular condition is satisfied, only the statement written within that block will be executed and all the other statements will be ignored. In this case, the first condition is false, so it will go to the next else if block. And in this case, 3 is equal to 3, which is true, so it will execute the hello message and it will come out. If this condition was wrong, 3 not equal to 3, I am giving the condition as 3 not equal to 3. In this case, the condition is wrong. Since it is wrong, it will go to the next condition and check whether it is true or false. 4 less than or equal to 5. The condition is true and it will print the message by. If I change the value of 4 to 14, the program control, let's see how it works. The program control will go to the if block and it will check whether 1 is greater than 3. The condition is false, so it will come out. And it will check the second condition, 3 not equal to 3. That is also false, and it will come out of that block and it will go to the next condition, 14 less than or equal to 5. That condition is also false. If none of the condition is satisfied, then the control will go to the else block and print the word link and learn. So this is how conditional statement works. And you have another interesting branching statement or the conditional statement that you can use with Java program other than if statement, which is called as switch case. I will show you how the switch case work. So in order to use the switch case, you need to use the keyword switch. And within the switch case, you will be passing some value in order to compare. Okay, so you will be passing the expression to the switch case, and that value will be compared in order to give a proper result. So inside the switch block, you will be specifying in each case what you will be doing. For example, assume that I am passing the value 12 onto the switch case. And inside the switch case, I'll be using a keyword called as case. And with case, I'll be specifying what I am trying to compare the given value with. Let's say 8. The meaning of this statement is I'm writing a switch case and I'm passing the value 12 to the switch case. And in the case, using the case statement, if the given value by the user is 8, I'll be, if the given value by the user is 8, I will print hello. If the given value by the user is 12, I will print hi. And if none of the value is satisfied or none of the case is satisfied, I'll be going to the default case and I'll be printing bye. So let's see how this actually works. If you run the program, so this is how you define. There is some extra things to be added in this program. I will tell you what it is and how you should use this. So if you run this program, you will see that hi is printed, bye is printed. It is supposed to print only hi, right? And in switch case, you will pass a value to the switch case, and in each case statement, you will be comparing the passed down value with a given already specified value. And when that particular value is same as the given value, it will go to that case and it will print whatever statement that is written inside that section. And you need to, once the statements are over, you need to break from that case using the break statement. So once a particular, for example, in this case, you have passed down 12. So it will be satisfying the case 12 option and it will print hi. And after executing all the statement in the switch case, you should break or you should come out of the switch case. And it should be done for every case, including the default case. And if you don't use the break statement, I will show you how it will work if you use the break statement and if you don't use the break statement. So in this program, I have given the value 12 to the switch case and I have two case statement which check whether it is 8 or 12. If it is 12, it will print hi. If the given value is 8, it will print hello. So I will execute this program. Now it is printing only hi, and the working is the value 12 is passed on to the switch case. First it will check whether case 8, whether the value is 8 or not. It is not 8, so it will go to the next case and it will check whether the value is 12 or not. The value is 12, so it goes inside the case 12 block and it will print the hi statement and then it will break or come out of the switch case. If I give the value as 8, then case 8 will be satisfied. It will print hello and then it will break and come out of the switch case. And if I give value 1 instead of 8 and 12, if I give value 1 and run the program, first it will check whether the value is 8 or not. If it is not satisfied, it will go to the next case and check whether the value is 12 or not. If that is also not satisfied, it will go to the default case and it will print by, and it will come out of the switch case. And if you don't use the break statement, this double slash is called as comments. If you give the double slash, it will comment an entire row or entire statement. uh, this will not be considered as a considered while executing the program. This is called single line comment. Okay, if you don't write the break statement in the uh, case that you define, what will happen? I will show you. So let's see, assume that I have given the value 8 into the switch case. So you first of all, it will check whether the given value by the user is 8 or not. If it is not 8, it will go to the next case, and if it is not 12, it will go to the default case. That is the working, right? But if you don't specify the break statement, you will be able to see all the messages that I have given. And the reason is, it will first go to the case 8 and it will print the hello. And since one particular section is satisfied, it will, if you don't specify the break statement, it will go on and execute all the rest of the statement without any restrictions. So to avoid that, after each case, after defining each case, you need to specify the break statement, so that after executing a section, the program will come out of the switch case and not execute all the rest of the section. So this can be ensured with the help of the break statement. And it is similar to if statement, and the only difference is you cannot specify a conditional statement to a switch case. For example, if you give like 8 greater than 3, and if you try to specify true and false, and if you try to run the program, you will get an error: incompatible type, boolean cannot be converted to int. So you can use either strings, characters, or decimal values or integer value, but not a boolean value. You cannot check condition or expression in a switch case. That is the only difference. You can pass 12.2 or any number or strings or character. So in this case, if you run the program, okay, it's a lossy conversion, possible lossy conversion. So it's always work with integer case and all. So lossy conversion means even if you specify 12.2, there is a chance of converting it into 12 itself. So it's always recommended to use the fundamental data types other than boolean to use in a switch case. I will show you some small examples with the conditional statements. Okay, the first statement, I'm using the if-else statement to check whether a number is even or odd. So these are some of the examples that you might that will give you a better idea for you to understand the conditional statement. So the program is to check whether a number is even or odd. So whenever you are given a problem, the first thing you need to identify is what I need to solve this problem and how I'm going to solve this problem. Okay. So in the given problem is, you will be provided with a number and you need to check whether the number is even or odd. So obviously it will be an integer number. To check whether a number is even or odd, it should be an integer number, right? So some of the analysis should be done properly in order to properly solve a given problem. So you will be given a number. You need to identify whether the given number is even or odd. So how will you check whether a number is even or odd? Any idea? Anybody? You can comment it in the chat section. How will you find whether a number is even or odd? It's a very basic question. I'm waiting for your response. How will you check whether a given number is even or odd? Any idea? Okay. So the idea is very simple. The smallest even number is 2. So if a particular number that is given is divisible by 2, if a given number is divisible by 2, then you can clearly say that it is an even number, right? So how will you check whether a number is divisible by 2 or not? That is another challenge. With the knowledge that you have acquired in Java programming till now, how will you check whether a particular value is divisible by 2 or not? How will you do that? Do you remember the operators that we have learned? Do you remember the operators? What are all the operators that we have learned? Anybody? Okay, the different operators: addition, uh, multiplication, subtraction, then sorry, division, subtraction, then you have an additional operator called as modulus, right? So when you divide a number by 2, if you get 0 as a remainder, that means it is divisible by that number, right? So in order to find out the remainder, you use the modulus symbol. So the logic is very simple. You get a number, you find the remainder by when you divide that number by 2, you find the remainder using the modulo operator, and if that remainder is equal to 0, if that remainder is equal to 0, that means that number is divisible by 0, sorry, divisible by 2, and if that number is divisible by 2, then the given number is an even number, right? So the condition that you need to check is very simple. You need to divide n by 2 and find the remainder and check whether that remainder is 0 or no. So I'm going to define a number n equal to, let's say, 12. You can give any number. And if n modulus 2, you are dividing n by 2, I'm putting it in bracket, and if the result is equal to 0, if the result is equal to 0, then I need to print even, else println odd. So we will try running the program. When you execute this program, it will display even. And if you change the value from 12 to let's say 121, we will run the same program and you will get the output as odd. So this will work for any number. We can try out this program if you want. And this can be achieved using the if-else ladder. And let's say if you want to use only the if statement and it's completely based on which statement to use. Okay, sorry. For example, how will you identify what type of if condition or the conditional statement should I use in my program? It's completely based on the programmer's logic and how the programmer want to create that logic. If you look at the if statement that we have learned till now, we have the simple if, we have the if else, we have the if else statement. So in all these cases, it is the implementation that tells the programmer what kind of conditional statement should be chosen. If the programmer want to simply check a condition and do something else and don't worry about anything, then the programmer can go for an if condition. Only if that condition is satisfied, the programmer will execute a few things. And the programmer is not worried about the else part. In that case, you can use the simple if statement, and it's completely depends on the problem that the particular programmer is trying to solve. And if the programmer is supposed to define a condition and specifically say what to do if the condition is true and what to do if the condition is not true, then you can the programmer can go for if else block. There will be only one condition and the programmer has to define what to do if the given condition is true and what to do if the given condition is not true. And coming to if else, we have different conditions to be checked. We have different conditional statement to be checked. And if none of the condition is satisfied, what to do? If you want to define a program which needs to work in the defined manner, as I described, you have more than one condition to check, and if none of the condition is satisfied, what to do? In that kind of a scenario, you can go for if else block. Then why would you go for switch case? That is another question that comes to your mind, right? So when you use the switch case, it actually improves the readability of the program. Even though it has a lot of limitation, it compared to writing if block, switch case is more readable and self-descriptive. Okay, so you can go for switch cases where you want to reduce the complexity and you don't have to check any condition. You will not be able to check whether A greater than B using a switch case. It is only possible with if blocks. If block, if else block, or if else block. You cannot check whether 2 is greater than 3 in switch case. So you need to make use of all these different kind of branching statement or conditional statement depending on the use. Okay. So this is the main thing that I wanted to tell you. So next, some of you might be having some confusion in mind. When I say multiple conditions, I am not saying that multiple conditions should be satisfied for a specific problem. For example, You might have heard this thing, right? Press 1 to uh, press 1 for latest offers. Press 2 for talking to our customer service executive. And press 3 to drop this call. So this is the kind of condition that I was talking about. You have the user have the option to press any of these values 1, 2 or 3. So when a particular value is selected, uh, based on the selection, a set of instruction will be executed, right? A set of instruction will be executed. And how will you use multiple condition for a same block? For example, we discussed about something called as logical operators, right? If student has come in uniform, if student did homework, then result. So if the first condition is true and the second condition is true, then the result will also be true. So you want both the condition to be sorry you want both the condition to be satisfied in order to let the student play. So you need to check multiple condition to allow a student to play. So if condition A and condition B is true, then the student will be given the privilege to go and play. If the student is not in full uniform, if the student is not in full uniform and the student has finished the homework, then he will not be allowed to go and play. If the student is in full uniform but not completed the homework, then the student will not be allowed to go and play. And if the student is not in full uniform and not done the homework, then also the student will not be allowed to go and play. So in this case, you are using the logical AND operator. So the logical AND operator means both the condition has to be true if you need to get the result as true. So this actually can be done in the Java program using any of the conditional block. So you can use, I'll show how to use it in if block. If, let's say the value of A, I have a variable called as A and the value is 12. If A greater than 10 and A less than 20, if both the conditions are true, println hello. So if you run this program, 12 greater than 10 and less than 20, the condition is true and it will display the message hello. If I change the value to, let's say, 22, if I change the value of A to 22, what ultimately happens? A greater than 10, this condition is true, but the second condition is not true. Since we are using the logical AND operator, the result will be false and it will not print the message hello. It will not print the message hello. If you want to use an if else block for the same program, you can define the same. You define the else block, and if the if condition is not satisfied, I should print by. So you have the condition here A greater than 10. I'm changing the value of A to 12. So in the current scenario, the value of A is 12. So 12 greater than 10, the condition is true. 12 less than 20, this condition is also true. When you run the program, the if block is satisfied and it will print the message hello. But if you change the value to 22, if you change the value to 22, if you run the program, the condition is not satisfied, so it will go to the else block and it will print by. So this is how you should use the different conditional statement. And when I say more than one condition, I am not saying about these kind of condition checking. If you have individual or independent conditional statement that is to be checked, then you need to use either if block. If you have more than one condition to be independent condition to be checked, then you need to use the if else block. I will add one else if block also. Okay, so in this case, in the first condition, I am checking whether value of A is between 10 and 20. If it is between 10 and 20, it will print hello. Else if it will check whether the value is between 20 and 30. It will check whether the value is between 20 and 30. If it is between 20 and 30, it will print high. And if both the conditions are not satisfied, it will display the default message. If you run this program, you will get the message high, and the reason is currently the value of A is 22. If I give the value of A as 33, when you run the program, it will print the default statement, which is by. And the same will happen if the value of A is 9 also. If I give the value of A as 9, first it will check A greater than 10. The condition is false. So since we are using logical AND, the result will be false itself. It will go to the next block and check the condition A greater than 20 or not. A is 9. A greater than 20 is false. So this condition will also be false, and it will go to the else block and print by. And you can write the same program with switch case, and I am just keeping this program. This is multi-line command. So you use /* and */. So in the beginning of the command section, you use /*, and at the end of the command, you use */. So whatever statement within this block will be removed from execution of the program. So I'm going to represent something similar to this using the switch case. You cannot check condition in switch case, so you cannot write anything like this. Okay, I just want to check whether the value of A is I'm just making some changes in this program to show you the difference. Okay, if A equal to 10, then print hello. If A equal to 5, then print high, else print by. So if you look at this particular statement, this is actually using the if block, if else block, but rewriting the same program using a switch case is a different scenario. You use the switch keyword, and into the switch statement you will be passing the value which is A. So in the first case, I will check whether the given value is 10. If it is 10, I will just print. I will just print hello, and then I will break. And the second statement, if the case is 5, if the given value is 5, if the given value is 5, I will print hi and break. And if none of the cases work for my program, I will go to the default case and print by and break. So if you run this program, you will get the result as by, and the reason is the given value is 9. If you compare the switch case and the if else block, we can see that switch case is more self descriptive and than the if else block. So depending on the usage and the complexity of your program, you can go for if block and if else block, or if simple if statement, or the switch case. And you cannot, the important factor is you cannot check whether check a condition in switch case. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can post it in the comment section and I will reply to you as soon as possible. And thank you all for attending the class. Have a nice day.